going on, everyone? So Luka Doncic was recently playing in a Slovenia-Greece game, and he just looks good. He looks slimmer. He looks just more quick and agile, at least in this video. And that could be absolutely huge for the Dallas Mavericks this upcoming season. Now, I have said I think Dallas is a play-in team. I really do. I think when you look at the rest of the just teams in the Western Conference, I think there are at least 6 teams that are better than the Dallas Mavericks. I still think Dallas is really lacking in just defense and just quality rotation players around Luka and Kyrie Irving. Now, there's always the possibility that Kyrie and Luka really figure it out, but I think that there's still going to be a learning curve for those two. I still think that they're going to struggle a bit as they did last season. Now, I do think that they have a real chance of making the play-in, but again, like you just go through the Western Conference, right? You have, bare minimum, you have the Nuggets, you have the Kings, you have the Suns, you have the Clippers, you have the Warriors, you have the new look Lakers, and I didn't even mention the Memphis Grizzlies that will eventually get Ja Morant back. So there's 7 teams right there that I think are all better than the Dallas Mavericks. And I don't think that there's even a real argument for any of those teams otherwise. And then, are they better than the Timberwolves? Maybe. Are they better than the Pelicans? With Zion? Probably not. Are they better than the Oklahoma City Thunder? Again, I don't know. Probably not. How good is Chet this year? You look at some of these teams in the Western Conference, and you look at Dallas, and I'm not a real believer in Dallas this year. Now, maybe, you never know. Dominoes and things kind of fall your way, and all of a sudden you look up and you're in the NBA Finals, you're in the Western Conference Finals or something like that. That could work, or maybe some trade becomes available at some point that kind of, changes the tide. But there are a lot of questions about Luka and just his ability to play alongside another star. And before this upcoming season, there was also his conditioning and him, a concern of him just not really taking conditioning in the offseason as serious as, Dallas and others would like him to take it. And there was talks and reports that came out that were like, hey, Luka slimmed down. Luka looks good. He looks healthy, and he looks like he's ready to take on the season. And it was a real question mark. But I really do think that after seeing him in the Slovenia and Greece game, I really do think he looks slimmer. He looks like he's lost a little bit of the chubby, right? And look, hopefully that translates well into the game of basketball, right? Because there is an argument that, the little chub is enough to kind of allow him to kind of bump other guys and use his sort of, more size, right? Where if he slims down a little bit, how much does that affect his ability to kind of just bump off guys and, kind of use that advantage? But if it makes him a little more agile, if it makes him, a little just more conditioned so he can, not get worn down at times, it seems like, that would be massive. There's also Kyrie Irving, right? Kyrie recently clapped back at a tweet about just the lack of his success after LeBron James. And he said, pin this tweet and check back in a couple years and see what happened. And look, I would love to see Luka and Kyrie win a championship, right? I'm a fan of Luka. I've defended, I'm a fan of Kyrie. I'm a fan of Luka too, but fan of Kyrie. Defended Kyrie on numerous occasions. I think, he's definitely not without his flaws, right? He definitely has done some questionable things and said some stuff, but I also think he gets a lot more hate than he deserves at times. I feel like everything's kind of just amplified for Kyrie, but a lot of that he might have brought on himself. Okay, fine. But I'm all for seeing people have success, right? And I'd love to see Kyrie kind of change his narrative and change his direction and be able to do that with the Dallas Mavericks and Luka, right? Like, this is a guy that has all the talent in the world and really could have a just really bright legacy with the Dallas Mavericks and just the NBA period if he's able to rattle off a couple NBA championships. I just don't think that Dallas with Kyrie is the answer. Because here's the thing, like LeBron and Kyrie won an NBA championship, right? Without a doubt. That makes sense. And Kyrie is a more mature version. I do think Kyrie is okay more now than ever of playing that second fiddle. And I think he has more of a willingness now to, hey, let me defer to Luka and stuff. But Luka is not LeBron James. And as much as Luka gets compared to LeBron and people want Luka to be LeBron, LeBron was a freak athlete that was actually a very good elite level defensive player. A very good defensive player. Luka can't defend his shadow, and Kyrie is not known for defense. So the only way you're really going to have success with these two is if you just have a really good defensive team outside of these two. You basically have a legit shot blocking, rebounding center, and then you have two really good 3-and-D point of attack defensive wings that can guard and defend multiple positions. It's the only way I see this happening, right? Like if they were able to keep Dorian Finney-Smith, I think that would have helped a lot. Like if they could have kept Finney-Smith and got like a Jeremy Grant or something like that to add to this, I think that would have been huge and could have went a long way. And then just go get, like I said, that shot blocking, rebounding center. And I think you'd be fine, right? Go get, I don't know, Jared Allen or something like that, right? Like if they could get something like that, I think they'd be in a good position. And they do have some nice young pieces that I do think could evolve and blossom into some quality players for Dallas, but that's probably a couple years from now, right? Like Lively's probably 2 or 3 years at least away from being a real impact player for the Dallas Mavericks, at least the way that they're going to need him to be. And so I don't think Dallas is going to have the success. And is Luka going to be willing to kind of defer at times? And is he going to be willing to kind of let Kyrie be Kyrie? Because, I mean, even down the stretch, you can make a real argument. Like, the ball is probably best in Kyrie's hands down the stretch. Kyrie is just such a crafty, talented scorer and an incredible closer. And, like, not saying Luka can't close games or anything like that, but Kyrie is a much better just natural gifted scorer, right? Luka's very crafty, very creative, can make some tough shots and stuff, but Kyrie is just, he's like otherworldly at times. And I think having Kyrie kind of be the main focus down the stretch of games and then having Luka as like that other guy that could do that, I think would be massive, right? And I think could go a long way. I just don't think Luka is going to be willing to do that. Luka is one of the highest usage players we've ever seen. And there's a reason. Like, Dallas was better with Kyrie on the court without Luka than with Luka on the court without Kyrie. And granted, you can make arguments that, they traded away their best defensive players in order to go get Kyrie. Sure. But this is going to be, I think, a real test for these two this year. Right? Like, if they don't make the playoffs and they legit are a play-in team, which I do believe they will, unless some, knock on wood, some crazy injuries happen, or, the Clippers decide to finally trade Paul George and Kawhi Leonard and whatever and just say, all right, well, we're done. And then even then, I still think, like I said, I think you could still make an argument for Minnesota and, the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Pelicans, if Zion can even stay remotely healthy. I think that there are several better rosters than the Dallas Mavericks. Like, Dallas didn't really improve this offseason, in my opinion. They got a couple nice pieces, like, right? They got like Holmes and, they got some defensive guys that can help. Like, Grant Williams can defend multiple positions, kind of bring some toughness to them and stuff. But I just don't think that they were able to sign anybody that's going to be a really big impact player, right? Like, I think Derek Lively is a couple years away. Josh Green was good for them. So was Hardy. Rashard Holmes is undersized, but hard nose, can get after it. Same thing with Grant Williams. They got Seth Curry who can shoot the ball. Cool. But it's just, I don't think this roster is enough. I don't think they're going to be very good defensively at all. I question how well that they fit together. I don't know. I'm just not super high on Dallas. And if maybe I eat my words and they win it all this year. Who knows? And if they do, I'll be more than happy to say, hey, I was wrong. I just don't see that happening. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? What do you think of Dallas? What do you think of Luka? Do you think he slimmed down? Do you think he looks good? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments.